Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know, and that is impulse control. With the context of modern times versus in the recent past, as in the last 10, 20, 30 years, I want to mention a couple of things, like how we have many fewer opportunities nowadays to practice impulse control and boundary recognition because of the so-called conveniences that we now enjoy, quote unquote enjoy. I'm going to use some examples here, and it's going to sound counterintuitive, and this is the reason I'm making the video, because it's counterintuitive. Consider in the olden days, 30 years ago, whatever, they had ballparks with these urinal troughs where there are no dividers, and it's just a crude, literal trough where 30 men would piss at the same time, if you'll forgive the expression. And it might sound weird nowadays, but back then it forced people to think about things a little bit, about space, personal space, boundaries, and impulse control, right? And my point is, like in many of my videos, my point is that without practice, people fall out of practice predictably, right? It makes sense that practice makes you better at stuff. This is not a new idea, and especially and including behavior around other people. So I am dismayed and frustrated, honestly, by the constant movement away from freedom and opportunities for people to learn and practice to behave better. We react to things, we being our administration, people in general, we react to problems by limiting freedom and opportunities. We say, well, we'll just make it impossible for people to do that thing again, whatever it is, after there's been a mistake or a problem. And people are going to make mistakes. That's part of learning, right? So come on now. Growing up includes making many mistakes. And if our solution to everything is to sell blocking services in one fashion or another, which is what we do now, then it's also predictable that people are going to fall woefully out of practice when it comes to boundary recognition and impulse control. It may seem like I'm overreacting, but impulse control is a huge deal. Knowing, when to control your behavior and how to control your behavior is a basic entry-level requirement for being in society. None of this should need to be said, but apparently it really does, because people don't understand it. Impulse control cannot be overstated. The value of it, the importance. So, maybe think about it and think about the opportunities we're taking away from people with every rule we make to practice and be better people, because that's what makes things work. That's what makes things work smoothly, happily, healthfully, and successfully. Reach out with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.